first basketball game in Indiana was played 3 years after the 1891 invention of a new game in Massachusetts to occupy students during the cold New England winters. That same year, a small military school opened in Culver, Indiana, with just 3 varsity sports: football, baseball, and track. In fact, despite the growing Hoosier hysteria over the new sport in Indiana, basketball at Culver Military Academy was virtually non-existent over the first decade of the school's existence. Much of that fact is owed to the lack of a suitable gymnasium. When Culver opened in September of 1894, the makeshift gymnasium lacked the necessary ceiling height for basketball. At less than 9 feet, it was impossible to pass a ball, much less place baskets at the requisite 10-foot height. Not until the construction of the first gymnasium in 1903-04 was Culver able to add basketball to its sports lineup. The new structure was dramatic for the time. Its highly polished maple floor measured 75 by 140 feet, and the ceiling rose more than 2 stories. Oddly, when the first team was assembled, games were played across the floor rather than up and down its length. Gymnastics was a favorite sport of the commandant, Major Genelette, so floor space was much too precious to share with an upstart sport. Inauspiciously, the Academy opened the 1904-05 season with a 30-15 loss to Crawfordsville High School, but the remainder of the 5-game schedule went into the victory column. During the 1913-14 season, Herman Sager of Culver set a still unbeaten state single-game scoring record of 113 points. Sager, recently inducted into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, spent a postgraduate year at Culver Military Academy, where he played 4 sports in 1914-15. He would go on to be credited with inventing the 3-point basketball shot, in addition to developing the first football hand signals for officials. The arrival at Culver in 1917 of Bob Peck, a former All-America football center at the University of Pittsburgh, as the coach for football, basketball, and baseball, brought a new and enthusiastic look at hardwood competition. In 10 years, his record of 61 wins and 21 losses, 76%, was unchallenged except by Russ Oliver, who, over 23 seasons, racked up 205 wins and 138 losses, 67%, with a tenure that included the 1937 Midwest Prep Championship, and Coach Tom Baker, who tallied a 139-82, 62% record over an 11-year career. Through the first 6 decades of Culver basketball, competition with a variety of private schools and many out-of-state public schools was the norm. And through those years, company basketball remained a popular enterprise for cadets. By the mid-1950s, Culver was playing in more Indiana high schools, having become an associate member of the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Under Coach Tom Baker, Pete DeBrez, class of '66, earned what for years was Culver's scoring record with 854 points. Baker's team earned a 16-5 record in 1972, giving the Varsity Eagles the most wins of any team in the Academy's 68 prior years of basketball, as well as the championship of the Indiana Associate Schools Tournament. Culver clinched the tournament by edging longtime rivals Wabasee Prep and shattering that school's 20-0 win streak. In the early 1970s, full membership in the ISHAA opened the door to tournament play, and in the 1974-75 season, the Eagles appeared in their first sectional tournament. During Thanksgiving weekend of 1977, Culver's Little Gym caught fire and was destroyed in a matter of hours. A committee of alumni and friends of Culver then began an immediate campaign to finance and rebuild the facility. Through a significant contribution from the family of Major Reuben H. Fleet, 06, organizer of the U.S. Airmail Service and founder of the Consolidated Aircraft Company, construction began in 1978, and Culver's new Little Gym was dedicated in the spring of 1980. One of Culver's most fruitful contributions to basketball began when interscholastic competition started at the recently established Culver Academy for Girls, later Culver Girls Academy, in 1972-73. By the early 1980s, CGA basketball was on the map, led by stars like Ann Quilhot Buckley, class of '82, who co-captained the team in its first sectional victory under coach Jerry Thomas. She was named to Hoosiers basketball's All-State first team. Leanne Guzik Terhune, class of '84, was among the players who led the CGA team to its best season to date at the time in 1982-83. The CGA team won the first 1987 IHSAA sectional championship. And of course, from the ranks of CGA came Culver's as yet unrivaled star of the hardwood. Patricia Babcock, career scoring leader at CGA, was named Miss Indiana Basketball in 1990, and as Patricia Babcock McGraw, she is an inductee into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in 2017. The 6-foot 2-inch center ended her high school career as the second leading scorer in state history with a career 2,199 points. Culver native McGraw remains the only player from a Marshall County school to be named Miss Basketball since the award was first presented in 1976. Both CGA and CMA teams had some standout moments in the late 1990s, including the 1996 CMA team taking the Bi-County Championship, CGA making it to sectionals that same season. CGA's 1997 standout team as Bi-County and sectional champs during a 19-3 record-breaking season and an almost flawless 1997-98 season for the girls. Tiffany Kaiser, class of 1999, became the number 2 scorer in CGA history after Babcock McGraw with 1,256 points, going on to basketball success for Indiana Purdue University of Indianapolis. 2004 saw CGA player Vanessa Jackson, who led the state in rebounds, also broke the 1,000-point barrier at 1,619 and was honored with several statewide awards. Mitch Henderson, class of '94, enjoyed remarkable success in a number of sports at Culver. He was second on Culver's all-time scoring list in basketball with 1,284 points, and in both college and professional arenas after graduation. He starred on the great Princeton teams from 1996 to '98, including their signature win, bumping off the 1995 defending NCAA champ, UCLA. Today, Henderson is Princeton's head basketball coach. Jackson Atoyabe, class of 2001, earned a single-season scoring record with 481 points during the 1999-2000 season and topped Henderson's total points at 1,431. After Culver, he went on to success and accolades at Elon University. And then a landmark season for Culver put the school officially on the map, if it wasn't before in Indiana basketball circles. The 2010-2011 CMA Eagles' historic trip to the Indiana 3A basketball finals in Indianapolis was the capstone to a full season of team championships and individual laurels under Coach Mark Galloway. That season included sectional, regional, and semi-state championships and a state runner-up trophy in hand, even if Culver fell to Washington 61-46 at the state finals. Also during that season, point guard Jermaine Myers broke Culver's 1,000-point scoring barrier in the regular season with 1,186 points, and forward Jawan Breskayson, who also broke every Culver receiving record in football, finished his career with 1,006 points. Most recently, he signed to the Canadian Football League. That year's team also sent 3 players to Division I schools. During that same period, 2 more Culver players joined the 1,000-point club. Kylie Shipley, class of 2011, with 1,215 points, and Andy Sinkovic, who was listed in Hoosier Basketball Top 100 and went on to play on the Croatian national team during the U18 European Championships in 2012 and for the University of Dayton. In the January 30th, 2017 state coaches poll, Culver Military Academy's team was ranked number 1 in Indiana's 3A class, the first time a Culver basketball team has attained such a status. As some commentators noted, Culver's accomplishments are especially notable given the challenges inherent in bringing together a team of student-athletes from multiple states and even countries in the limited time frame and structure necessary in a boarding school like Culver. And so, a school with an international student base and noted excellence in a variety of sports not common to the Indiana high schools, from hockey to lacrosse, crew to polo, fencing to rugby. The Culver Eagles have proved their mettle in that most Midwestern of arenas, the wintertime gymnasium.